you can do a better job of predicting how someone will behave if you know who their friends of friends and friends are and how they behave. And come into the causality point, all the things that are happening now are the result of a prior cause, which is the result of a prior cause, which is the result of a prior cause. If you want to understand things better in the context of the world around them and how they engage with the world, or if you want to understand cause and effect better, then graph is a great way to do that.
Welcome to GenAI Talks.
The power of connection. Data has been something we all have known has become the new goal. But what people don't know about is the connections between data is even more valuable. And today we're going to learn a lot about that from a man who's been working and pioneering in that space in a way that we all feel. We use the products that leverage this technology, even if we didn't know it. But today you'll get that sneak peek. Ladies and gentlemen, Philip, can you introduce yourself? Talk a little about your company.
Pleasure to be here, Sam. Philip Rathle. I'm at Neo4j, which is a pioneer in graph databases. And turns out in AI these days, there's a lot of conversation about knowledge graphs, and knowledge graphs used as a knowledge layer for AI, because we're all used to talking about agents as doing things. But, in order for them to do things, it's helpful if they know things, and where do we get that knowledge from? I've been at this for 13 years after doing databases for many years. And really the vision that attracted me to Neo4j was the opportunity to build a database technology from the ground up for applications, so like real-time OLTP, as we say, and analytics, being able to do the two together in one system, but become an important part of the stack for data that is needed for AI systems, and but more broadly speaking, for digital transformation and for anything you might like to do.
Can you unpack what knowledge graph technology is fundamentally and why it's such a real key part of what powers a lot of the new technologies that we take for granted today?
When we see networks represented or hierarchies, it's the most common representation of a network. And networks have these qualities of having network effects, meaning I can add more data in and everything becomes more valuable. The data set that I've added becomes more valuable by virtue of being connected to this rich set of data that was already there, and vice versa. So as you add more data, you can get more value. And why would you use this? Why would you care? It turns out that there are two reasons. It's context and causality, like deeper cause and effect. For context, what we mean is if you want to understand me, you can get all the facts and figures about me, but you don't really know me. If you really want to know me, you want to know my family and my friends and who I hang out with and what I do and what my hobbies are. And then even more so, like if you were to understand my friends of friends, you might get some idea of who I am, even for my friends of friends. There's some sociology research which actually demonstrates this, that you can do a better job of predicting how someone will behave if you know who their friends of friends and friends are and how they behave. And come into the causality point, all the things that are happening now are the result of a prior cause, which is the result of a prior cause, which is the result of a prior cause. If you want to understand things better in the context of the world around them and how they engage with the world, or if you want to understand cause and effect better, then graph is a great way to do that.
Let's dig a little deeper into, how this technology works. So I've heard about GraphRAG. Yeah. Can you break down why that technology is so pivotal and how you've really helped change the world with that technology?
Yeah, GraphRAG. So let's rewind to the problem that it solves, which is that LLMs are amazing, and there are lots of great applications, and I use them every day myself in many ways. But they have some fatal flaws if I try to apply them directly and just trust everything that they say. One is they're not trained on an enterprise's own knowledge base. They're trained on like human knowledge by some definition of human knowledge. Number two, they hallucinate, but you don't know when and you don't know how unless you do lots of due diligence. But then that defeats the point. You might spend more time checking on the thing's answers than you do than the time you saved in the first place getting the answer. Number three, they don't have any discernment. They don't know what is appropriate to use at what time, for what purpose, with what person. Like a lot of companies have a lot of data that's governed and secure and private and so on. And then LLMs actually don't have a real understanding of context. not in any explicit or understandable way. And they're opaque. It's a complete black box. Like, I don't know what's going on inside. And so a knowledge graph is a way to say, all right, I'm actually going to solve all of those problems to a greater, lesser degree by saying, I'm going to create a system of knowledge that describes the part of the real world that I care about. So it's the subject and object and the interaction. And from there, I'm going to tie it into I'm going to create an agentic system such that the agentic system will make a call out to the knowledge graph. So really it's saying I'm going to use a graph of the knowledge that can be locked down with permissions and access controls, and where I can ask I can ask questions and get an exact answer. So it supports deterministic queries. I can serve up context, however many levels I want, to the model, and then the model can make its own decision and pass it back. So it's about complementarity and using the right tool for the right job.
If you have to make a big bet on what's coming next, that most people might not know about, I give you the right to be wrong. Yeah. You'd able to predict 2 weeks from now is even insane.
Yeah.
But 5 years, 10 years, where does this technology go for us as society?
Bring together the power of technology that can give you determinism, which also has the advantage of being transparent. And, knowledge graph can be a bridge between human and machine understanding. So kind of bridge those two worlds. Gives humans more agency and more insight into what's going on. Along with this amazing world of LLMs, which we should fully continue to embrace. And they're going to evolve. I can't imagine where they're going to be in 5 years, but I'm pretty certain about one thing is if something is probabilistic and there's no ability to know what's going on inside, then I'm going to want to pair that up with something. And I'm going to want to pair it up with a system of knowledge. So neurosymbolic is my answer.
How can people follow you and stay in tune with the company?
You can follow me on LinkedIn. There's just one Philip Rathle out there. Company is Neo4j.com. I'd also encourage you to check out GraphRAG.com, and we've got a bunch of learning out there. So just follow the breadcrumbs to all the developer learning, including deep learning about AI, where we've got a few courses there.
Hey, and we got to get some courses on the GenAI Works Academy, huh? Thank you for the time today. Appreciate you, Philip.
Appreciate you.
It's an honor.
Thanks. Honor's all mine.
Yeah.
Big ideas, real tools, bold moves. That's what GenAI Talks is all about. Don't miss what's next. Subscribe and explore more in our GenAI community.